Well, when I came downstairs to my studio this morning, I heard a soft scratching at the basement door and a little bit of whining. So I opened the door, and sure enough, there you have it. She came back. She probably missed the cuddles and the attention. Anyway, a friend of mine mentioned, he said, I was really glad to see that you threw that painting off the balcony. And I agreed with him. I also kind of knew in the back of my mind it was going to be landing in a grassy field. Of course there was a chance it would get damaged, but I wasn't going to concern myself. If it got damaged, the decision would have been made for me. I wouldn't have to touch it. And I could move on to something else. But once I brought it in, I thought, okay, I need to do something. It's going to be challenging because that fence was basically a big black screen TV, or not a big a big screen TV. Very uninteresting rectangle. The building itself, although it leaned a little bit to the left, and it still does, it wasn't very interesting. It was, the roof line on the top of it was quite flat, and it wasn't showing any character, no age to it, Also, the yellow bush where it heads off to the left-hand side, I had it sort of running off the painting. I had a couple tree trunks up there in the distance. I didn't like that. That was more content. That was really distracting from what would eventually become the focal area. So we broke up the roof line, got rid of some of that yellow bush in the background, made it into very muted blue. What is that? That's cobalt blue, willows and crimson, and a bit of raw umber and white. And then broke up that roof line on the pump shed. Broody, you commented and said, yeah, it could be a pump shed. It's funny you mentioned that because that's actually exactly on one of the properties that I lived years ago. The well was in a shed like that, and so was the pump for the well. I think that suited it well. So, warmed up the pump shed as well with a little bit of burnt sienna. Made it a little more prominent, but still more or less in the shade. And then that fence too. Once I made it into a fence from just a big screen TV, it's become a little more interesting, a little bit of that light shining through from the distance. So that helped to shift the gaze off of the shed and more over to the right a little bit. Also, I put some orange on a couple of those trees back there. That helped. And let's see. Yep, put a couple rocks in the foreground at the base of that large tree on the right-hand side. I think that's helped quite a bit actually, because it helps to repeat. It helps to approximate the colors that are on the roof a little bit down here. Now, this is taking shape. There's still, almost all the painting still needs a little bit of work. This is an outliner right now. Don't worry about that. I'm going to, how would you say it? Refine the contents through that doorway so that it's more readily identifiable, or you can take a better guess at what might be in there. And it's also very black, that really punches. It's too much strength considering where it sits. I'm gonna take some of these highlights, even the lightest lights that I have here, they're still not as high a value as I can go. And I have not, nor have I gone as high a chroma as I can go. So the point we're at now, okay, we'll have to finish this tree obviously. Okay, amongst other things. But what I'm going to do is take some of these intense yellows and I'm going to bring them down a little bit here and a little bit here, closer to the top of the fence. Just not everywhere, just in a few areas to make them pop a little bit. That's also going to serve to pull the focal point away from here. Where exactly will the focal point be eventually? I don't know. I'm not really too concerned about it. It's going to be, I think, more warmer and inviting over here. Even though this is a pretty strong structure, I think our warmth and our strength will be lying more here than anywhere else. So it would probably be in there. Let's just talk about focal area because that's really what's more important anyway. And obviously you can see how that's coming. So we're going to pull our focal area a little bit to the right, punch up these colors, maybe define some of the shapes in behind here a little bit. And I'll get this tree in. And my goodness, you know, I'm glad actually that she came back to me, and now I'm after playing with it for the day, I'm actually pretty happy with how it's coming. Yeah, quite happy with revisiting the whole thing with a fresh mind. I was so frustrated with it when I threw it off the deck. I thought, I don't care. If it goes, it goes. I guess that's really all I can say about it for now. I'm going to play with this for the rest of the day, and that should bring it very close to finished. And now, I like it. It's kind of warm and inviting now. It's, you know, now that we've gotten rid of these very strong, almost foreboding looking shapes. And once we tone that down a little bit, I think we'll be okay. Alrighty. Sorry, Scott. I retrieved it. I think it's worth saving. See you soon, guys.